Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. At times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Do something wonderful, people may imitate it. I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. The African is my brother, but he is my younger brother by several centuries. Example is leadership. The only ones among you who will be really happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. Example is not the main thing in influencing others, it is the only thing. Do not let Sunday be taken from you. If your soul has no Sunday, it becomes an orphan. A man is ethical only when life, as such, is sacred to him, that of plants and animals as that of his fellow men, and when he devotes himself helpfully to all life that is in need of help. Sometimes our light goes out but is blown into flame by another human being. Each of us owes deepest thanks to those who have rekindled this light. My life is my argument. Compassion, in which all ethics must take root, can only attain its full breadth and depth if it embraces all living creatures and does not limit itself to mankind. We are all so much together, but we are all dying of loneliness. Man can hardly even recognize the devils of his own creation. Life becomes harder for us when we live for others, but it also becomes richer and happier. Humanitarianism consists in never sacrificing a human being to a purpose. Seek always to do some good somewhere. Every man has to seek in his own way to realize his true worth. You must give some time to your fellow man, for remember, you don't live in a world all your own, your brothers are here too. I have always held firmly to the thought that each one of us can do a little to bring some portion of misery to an end. A man does not have to be an angel in order to be saint. Everything deep is also simple and can be reproduced simply as long as its reference to the whole truth is maintained. But what matters is not what is witty, but what is true. Let me give you a definition of ethics. It is good to maintain and further life, it is bad to damage and destroy life. We cannot possibly let ourselves get frozen into regarding everyone we do not know as an absolute stranger. If a man loses his reverence for any part of life, he will lose his reverence for all of life. Day by day we should weigh what we have granted to the spirit of the world against what we have denied to the spirit of Jesus in thought and especially in deed. The highest proof of the spirit is love, love the eternal thing which can already on earth possess as it really is. One truth stands firm, all that happens in world history rests on something spiritual. If the spiritual is strong, it creates world history. If it is weak, it suffers world history. By respect for life we become religious in a way that is elementary, profound and alive. As soon as man does not take his existence for granted, but beholds it as something unfathomably mysterious, thought begins. I can do no other than be reverent before everything that is called life. I can do no other than to have compassion for all that is called life. That is the beginning and the foundation of all ethics. Wherever a man turns he can find someone who needs him. Impart as much as you can of your spiritual being to those who are on the road with you, and accept as something precious what comes back to you from them. Truth has no special time of its own, its hour is now always. A great secret of success is to go through life as a man who never gets used up. Do something for somebody every day for which you do not get paid. Just as the wave cannot exist for itself, but is ever a part of the heaving surface of the ocean, so must I never live my life for itself, but always in the experience which is going on around me. One thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve. Ethics is nothing else than reverence for life. A man can do only what he can do, but if he does that each day he can sleep at night and do it again the next day. The true worth of a man is not to be found in man himself, but in the colors and textures that come alive in others. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. Never say there is nothing beautiful in the world anymore. There is always something to make you wonder in the shape of a tree, the trembling of a leaf. Ethics is the activity of man directed to secure the inner perfection of his own personality. Until he extends his circle of compassion to include all living things, man will not himself find peace. Think occasionally of the suffering of which you spare yourself the sight. The willow which bends to the tempest often escapes better than the oak which resists it, and so in great calamities, it sometimes happens that light and frivolous spirits recover their elasticity and presence of mind sooner than those of a loftier character. Man has lost the capacity to foresee and to forestall. He will end by destroying the earth. Man must cease attributing his problems to his environment and learn again to exercise his will, his personal responsibility in the realm of faith and morals. Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory. An optimist is a person who sees a green light everywhere, while a pessimist sees only the red stoplight. The truly wise person is colorblind. Constant kindness can accomplish much. As the sun makes ice melt, kindness causes misunderstanding, mistrust, and hostility to evaporate. The first step in the evolution of ethics is a sense of solidarity with other human beings. One who gains strength by overcoming obstacles possesses the only strength which can overcome adversity. There are two means of refuge from the miseries of life: music and cats. In everyone's life, at some time, our inner fire goes out. It is then burst into flame by an encounter with another human being. We should all be thankful for those people who rekindle the inner spirit. The great secret of success is to go through life as a man who never gets used up. Whoever is spared personal pain must feel himself called to help in diminishing the pain of others. We must all carry our share of the misery which lies upon the world. I wanted to be a doctor that I might be able to work without having to talk, because for years I had been giving myself out in words. Serious illness doesn't bother me for long because I am too inhospitable a host.